Hello all, let's install Rocky Linux. So Rocky Linux is a Red Hat binary, one-on-one binary equivalent open source enterprise Linux distribution. So here this is a pre-release testing edition. So here you can select your language, you can set your keyboard layout, click continue. So this is going to give you a warning because this is pre-release. It's going to tell you you should not install this on physical hardware or production machine. This is on a virtual machine. So let's continue. And this is the regular Anaconda installer which we see in Red Hat and CentOS. So here we select our drive. Then I'm using a 15 gigs virtual hard drive. So here I can select the packages. So this is a 1.7 gigabyte minimal installation disk. So it doesn't have many packages along with it. So I'm going to just install server, click done. Then I can disable, enable kdump. I can set the time zone. Then I can turn on network, change the host name. Then I can create a root user password, then a normal user. All these things can be created. So I will do this and I'll be back, like I'll complete all these steps and I will be back after the installation is done because it's going to take some time. So the installer will do somewhere around 400, somewhere under 500 packages so will be installed if you do a server install. So I'll be back after the installation has been completed. So this is what you get when you first boot after the installation. So here you don't have a graphical desktop environment, so you can install that by using yum group install, and in quotes you can specify server with graphical user interface or GUI and close the quotes. And if you hit enter, it's going to install the graphical user interface, that is GNOME desktop. And if you do a reboot, you're going to get this. So log in with your password and sign in. So by default you're going to have a black wallpaper, not this one. So you can have like you can see, like we have maybe 3 wallpapers by default. So black one, a white one, and a full black, no branding. You have like relatively minimal packages installed. You don't have many packages installed with this distributions. Like if you take some other enterprise distributions, you can see like it's really bloated, like it's having so many packages installed by default. So here you can see this is Rocky Linux 8.3 and its version, it's using GNOME version 3.3 32.2. so not GNOME 40 or nothing fancy. This is an enterprise Linux distribution, so older packages are to be expected. So if you do a df-h, you can see the disk usage by the distribution. So this is somewhere short of 5 gigabytes. So if you do a server install, it will be even smaller than the 5 gigabyte because for most part this is occupied by GNOME desktop and all the other things which I have installed. So I've installed kernel level headers and all these things. So that's that. If you do a free -h, you can see this is using 898 megs of RAM. So while I compared with my CentOS stream installation, this is like 100 megs shorter, like it consumes 100 megs shorter than CentOS. So you can see this is having kernel version 4.18.0.240. So this is one of those long-term support kernels. So CentOS stream is somewhere around 300, 4.18.0.300 or something. So you have for package management you have 2 options. You have yum and DNF, like Fedora, CentOS and Red Hat, the same thing. So if I do yum kernel headers, you can see like yum works. So if you want, you can install or remove packages using yum. Similarly, let me clear my screen, and if I do, instead of yum, if I do a dnf and dnf, if I do that, it's going to give me this. So you can install, remove, update whatever you want with dnf and yum. So you have two package management solutions. And you can do group list for seeing the available groups. So you have a server with graphical user interface, you have a regular server. So by default it will install a regular server without any graphical user interface. So if you want to install any other groups, you can install them manually. So if you need security tools or something, if you need development tools, all these things can be manually installed. For that you can use sudo yum group install, and in codes you have to specify the group name. So you have netcode development, rpm development, graphical administration tools, and all these packages. Like, you can pretty much install any of these groups according to your wish. So by default firewall D is available and enabled on boot. So you can see firewall D is active and running. Q to exit. Yeah, then you have like vim as a default text editor. So you don't have like something like emacs. So I tried searching emacs, so it was not available, but I'm more comfortable with vim anyway. So if you do a cat /etc/os release, you can see this is entirely similar to Red Hat, CentOS, and Fedora's. So you can see Linux distribution name, version 8.3, ID like RHEL, Fedora. So this is like, if CentOS, you will see things like CentOS, Bugzilla, something like that. So all these things will be accordingly. So the Brady name is Rocky Linux 8.3. You have ANSI color, similar to CentOS and RHEL, and you have CP name, home URL. You have the bug report URL. So if CentOS, you will see Bugzilla URL. So that is Rocky Linux. So I guess this one was helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful day.